I think when you talk to someone about your identity, they're talking about what it means in the world now and what it meant back in my day, or what it's going to mean for the future, how you're going to live your life. But you come in here and they're like, you know, introduce yourself, and you can introduce yourself in any way you want. And then everyone's just like, okay, it's nice to meet you, you know, and then you're included in everything. You get on with it. It's like no one has anything to say about it. You're just who you are. And I think there's no one that ever tries to constrict that in a box, you know.
So the story of my name, I chose it a few years ago. I was at the point where I knew that my dead name, I didn't feel comfortable with it. There was one name that the longer I thought about it, the more it started as in, yeah, that one's quite nice, but then it became like, yes, this is me. And that name was Laura. When I joined the OutHouse, Fern was actually the first person to ever, in the UK, to say my name, who I was like out to like publicly. And she mispronounced it. She pronounced it as Laura instead of Laura. But well, just like at the beginning, I kind of grew into that name. That was just another part of that journey. That was just another part of me growing into it. And it became Laura.
When I came out to my mum, I felt like that was probably the easiest for me. Same with a few college friends, but the main concern was probably coming out to family, because I always had the fear of like not being able to correct any of them if they got my name wrong or anything.
My mum named me after Alice in Wonderland. My dad had a Drink Me tattoo on his leg and it had Ace, so like I named myself after that.
I was like a really anxious person, you know, I didn't want to speak to people, I didn't want to get involved, I didn't want to go out and do things and get myself out there. But because I've been at the OutHouse, I've become more confident in myself, I think. And I've been able to like express myself more freely without having to feel the need that people are going to like judge me.
I've found like a community that is like supportive and nice.
So I still use my birth name as well, which is Ria, and I chose Moth because I was reading through a book that I had when I was younger, and I remembered a character that was called Moth, and they were a witch that lives in the forest in a caravan, and I was like, oh, that's the vibe I want to go with.
When I was starting school, I was really scared, didn't have that many friends, didn't really know what I was, but now I think I'm confident to say like who I am. In the future, I'd just love to do anything creative, acting, photography, prop making, stuff like that.
My former name has a lot of family history that didn't suit me personally. I was named like Georgia, which is where my family originally came from a few hundred years back, but I decided in the end to stick with Scarlet because I felt it suited me. As my mum said, very basic, I'm ginger, but you know.
I don't really say much, but when I come here, I can just kind of sit there and just listen to everyone else talking. And then I kind of like get what they're saying and stuff. In the future, I want to be like a lorry driver, or I want to be a zookeeper.
Well, I got it from a TV show, Our Flag Means Death. Main character is Blackbeard, and I was like, he's a great character. Just stole his name.
I think just that fear of my very existence being seen as something to be debated, it sometimes feels very hopeless, I think. And just having OutHouse be this space where I can safely assume that everyone around me is on the same kind of mindset as me, and who I know that sometimes struggle with this very same thing, having that like mutual understanding of it. It's just very like freeing.
I think having a voice, making a difference, being able to like have an impact really matters to me. I owe so much of my own personal confidence and skill to the OutHouse. I've been able to do so much to affect so much, and to be a part of something so much greater at the OutHouse, and to really make a difference, I think, for queer people locally.
Without like a diverse community and without diverse society, then everyone would just be the same and it'd just be really boring.
I think I've just learnt that there's like not a singular person that's just irregular here. Like even if you're a bit more quirky, just you fit in. That's just who we are here.
Freedom means being open without feeling like you're going to be attacked for it.
Being free means just like expressing myself, dressing how the way I want.
Freedom is knowing that I don't have to look to anyone else for what's acceptable, what's right, what I'm supposed to do, but instead I can focus on, and I am free to focus on what I want to do.
I think freedom is the ability to be able to be who I am anywhere I want to be.
Being free means like living in a world where everyone's accepted for who they are.
Freedom for me is being able to meet people you know, you like, and just be able to be yourself, to be the true version of you.
Freedom means to me like the idea that I don't have to fit into like a little box of what society wants me to be.
Freedom would be the ability to just be, not having to conform to whether it be like society's expectations or specific people's expectations, just like existing in a world in your own way.